You guys should go out together. Yeah, like dancing. Loosen up a bit, Mike.
Okay, we should try that.
Yeah.
Looks like my work here is done.
So, do you want to go out tonight?
Oh, I would love to. Where are we going?
I meant,
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So, without mentioning names, of course, and such, has any of you experienced any discrimination due to, one, your sexual orientation, gender identity, and the color of your skin when it comes to doing a lot of stuff? And if so, please share.
Let me speak on this one because mine is just very brief. And I'm not saying it should go down in the history books because, you know, sometimes you can't really prove it when it happens to you. But for a while, like, my casting profile was just gay and male. And I was getting bookings and stuff like that. But then towards the middle or so of pandemic, I came out again as non-binary. So I wanted to switch my casting profile for that. And then for a while, I was not getting as many bookings. And it's like, I'm calling them, asking them what's happening. I'm using the same pictures, but it's like, what's happening? And then after like 6 months of just like bookings going up and down, getting casted and then released to, it was just like, I don't know what this is about, but I changed it back to male and gay. And now my castings are back to normal. So It's like,
you want the representation, but when it's out there, sometimes they just glaze over you.
Right. So like sometimes it's like I can't cast myself as this. I have to show up with my natural black hair and then just show up like this and hope that they can do my hair or use me.
Right.
And that's like not fair when it's like a normal woman, if she has a different hair, they're gonna work with her and do her hair. But someone of my gender fluidness have to jump hoops just to get the same treatment.
Right.
That's my little tea.
So I've worked a couple sets where I've seen like microaggressions against trans people. I've seen it with non-binary people, and I've seen it with just people who are different and don't really like find an identity per se. I know when it comes to me and my hair, I've definitely had like run-ins because when I did Orange is the New Black, a white woman flat ironed my hair without my permission, and it became a whole thing on set, and I got some good screen time for that episode because someone fucked up, and it wasn't funny because that damage took a while to like recover from. Like, I didn't want to cut my hair. So now I go into every set with my hair already washed, already braided, and I usually tell them right off the bat, if you don't have someone with curly, wavy hair or can work with people of color, then I don't want them touching my hair at all. If I don't know the person on set either who works in hair and makeup, then I will just check in and that's it. But if I don't know someone who is in lead of it and can actually help me out, then that's a different story. But when it comes to that, I'm very meticulous because growing up, my parents were always like, don't let people touch your hair just because, you know, someone can curse you.
Right, my hair is a very meaningful thing to me, and that's another thing that like definitely get discrimination for, because I like to wear my hair out sometimes when I'm giving my classes, or I like to wear a crop top. So things like that, I'm like express my gender like through dance and movement, like a very feminine, and that's something that's pushed like a lot of students away from me. And like I've gotten complaints from students, from managers, like, oh, be less this way, less that way. And someone like you know, example, a cis woman can wear nothing but a sports bra and itty bitty short shorts, leggings, and she can get away with that, and everybody's like, yes, bitch, craze.
But the minute a gay boy does it, or a non-binary person does it, it's a problem to the other men in the room, or to the not as confident women, which kind of sucks. Because when I first started out, I wore really small shorts and real tight shirts. But I was very confident, and even then I didn't let people shape me, but that's always been a thing before us.
Right.
It's not something we're wearing, it's our hair, it's the attitude. If it's too much for you, then just say that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when it comes to challenges as a queer creative, it's come in two different ways for me. So as an actor, the challenges that I've had was being typecast. When I was in the city, I had finally moved to the city in 2018. I was getting a lot of bookings from the NYU student films, and a few of them, I played, you know, of course, gay roles of gay men and whatnot, and they were interested at first. They were cool, but then I noticed they kept wanting me to play these gay roles. Then I went and I auditioned for a campaign video for PrEP. And I remember the casting director wanting me to femme it up more and more and more. And I'm like, okay, I'm already kind of femme as it is. And, you know, I'm very sassy, you know, whatever that made me and whatnot. But I would think you would want it to be more natural versus me putting on this acting. That's not me. Now, I'm not trying to shame anybody who's, you know, very, you know, yes, honey, and stuff like that. And also, that's just not me and whatnot. And I believe in, you know, being able to bring your authentic self into a role that makes it more relatable and stuff. And so I kept running into that issue. And, you know, people kept wanting me to be this very stereotypical black gay man and stuff, and I just wasn't willing to do it. And so for me, I had to learn to be very selective with the roles that I was getting, or that I had submitted for, because although, like I said, although I am a gay man, I am much more than my sexuality, and I want my art to showcase that I'm much more than my sexuality. So as a photographer, business owner, filmmaker, the whole shebang, the issues that I've come across have been the fact that I'm from upstate New York, so it's very cliquey, very ish, the talent scene here. But there's a lot of talent here, there really is. Unfortunately, only a small percentage of us would ever really go far with that, due to the scene again being cliquey, being they like to pick and choose of who, you know, they want to mess with, and who's the new flavor of the month or whatever. There's been a lot of that stuff. A lot of people like to dick ride, like to clout chase. They don't support, like, even just the city of Albany as a whole, there isn't really a strong support for the arts. Most times we gotta make our own way into doing this. Most times we have to support our own selves and such. And God forbid you are artists of color and you're queer. What? Child, please. And so that's been my biggest issue, is like when I'm at home, they don't support me. Many people don't even, they like to downplay the work that I've done for my community and such. They don't give you the credit when credit is due. A lot of people like to eat off of us, especially, like I said, the LGBTQ community, we are in right now in mainstream. We are the new trend and whatnot. And although that's great, it allows us to be open to people using us and using our community without giving anything back. That's happened to me before. I've worked with certain individuals who they wanted to eat off the LGBTQ community via me and the work that I've done without giving anything back. They wanted to profit off of us and not giving anything back. And so it's challenging at times. It is. It's often discouraging, especially when you are doing this as a freelancer. You don't have an agent. You don't have a manager. You don't have a team backing you. You are doing everything yourself and whatnot. It can be a little challenging, but I love what I do. I want to do this, and so, you know, you got to take what comes with it sometimes.
So you know, RuPaul's Drag Race is so mainstream right now, and everyone not. I think people forget that the contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race was a local girl one time, and I don't think people around in the gay bar or gay scene doesn't appreciate us anymore because we're not a Ru girl. But think about it though, when they started as a local entertainer and they worked hard where they at right now, and getting on RuPaul is kind of like a big platform. But I think I want to focus on the local girls because we don't get enough appreciation. You have to fight for your spot for a show because there's a Ru girl. You have to give what people want, I guess, as long as it makes you happy. But I think this point it's just everybody wants to get everything. It's not about sharing anymore, and it's sad because everything is like seems so selfish. So I guess RuPaul kind of like opened up doors for some people, and then at the same time it kind of like limits other people's kind of like entertainment or hobby or what they want to do. So there's pros and cons of that show, but I don't know. It just depends on the person. I think the gay culture or drag culture, bar scene and everything, once they see RuPaul, they kind of like compare the drag styles. They said, oh, you don't perform this, you don't look like that because RuPaul needs to be this and that. But deep down, we are unique because we are trying to be the best of ourselves, and our art form says it all. But when people try to compare us when they don't even do drag, it kind of like invalidates our art form. So like I said earlier, drag has opened up platforms and doors for entertainers, but like at the same time people are getting brainwashed what should drag queen looks like. And I think that's the misconcept about it. If I'm making sense in here, I think people should be more open-minded about art forms because it's not only just one, but there's different kinds of art form. Like you can't compare Picasso's art to Mark Gone. Is that right, Mark Gone?
I can't do it. I would say, you know, Picasso to Van Gogh.
Oh yeah, Van Gogh. Yeah, you can't compare Picasso's art to Van Gogh. So it's like basically the same thing, comparing our drag as a local performers to the celebrity drag queens. So think about it.
especially if we touch on the part that a lot of them have more financial.
Not true though, because the people who actually wants to do better had to work 2 jobs just to get what they want. Like like they said, if you get on a show that it's on TV, you have to get a loan just to get all this kind of outfits, looks, and everything. But is it gonna pay in the end? I don't know. I've never been in that spot. But as much as I work for myself, I'm happy. I get what I needed to do and pay attention to the art form that I really, really enjoy. I think that's all that matters. As long as you pay your dues and responsibilities to it.
You know, it's weird for someone like me. I just belong to, like, you know, the Latino community, because, you know, we're very much not white, not black, somewhere in the middle. Someone like myself, I feel like I've been very much put in this kind of tug of war back and forth of being either this or that, and I try to create my own lane and try to stick to that lane. I don't like being put in a box, and I don't think I personally ever came across any overt racism or prejudice within this community, but I know a lot of other people have. I don't think I've put out strong messages that make people question and make people, you know, want to start, you know, not an argument, but start some sort of conversation. And people that perform their art that strikes conversation, strikes questions, you know, they can get a little bit of a backlash, and they can get a little bit of a push and pull and tug of war situation. Me, I just try to be me. I don't know who wouldn't like me based off the color of my skin or how I present myself, but I've never come across a certain situation where, like, I didn't get a gig because of the color of my skin, at least not knowingly. And God forbid I would ever, you know, be in that situation, because if I were in that situation, I would definitely not put myself in that situation again, and I would heed others, you know, to not put themselves in that place and time. Right. So, you know, something with me that I feel like has been my message, and I'm starting to see other people pick up on that message too and running with it, is that, you know, our nightlife scene has been very drag heavy, just very mainstream drag heavy for the past like 10 years. And, you know, drag has always been a part of queer nightlife, but also where are the queer artists, where are the original singers, where are the burlesques, where is, you know, anything else except a traditional pageant / drag club queen, you know? So when I started doing my weekly, and I kind of took upon this message, I was like, I was gonna open up the entertainment world in nightlife and allow for other people besides just traditional drag queen to shine. And I feel like now when you have other shows like Dragula, which is more like drag, but it's more like drag things and drag kings and like more like alt drag, and that kind of bleeds into just like queer entertainment and allowing people to also just be more authentically themselves. You have the whole Brooklyn scene that's breaking out with this whole new branch of like entertainers that isn't just, let me put on a sequin dress and a bouffant and do the damn thing, but like, let me actually like do things that have a shock value. Let me showcase my voice. Let me show you that I can actually breathe fire. Let me show you that I'm a belly dancer. Let me show you that I can fucking like balance things on the top of my head while singing like 3 octaves of opera, you know? It's just gotten a lot more inclusive and a lot more mixed, and I like that. I think, I would say, in the 90s and late 80s, you had a lot more this club kid type of circuit that actually, you know, drag wasn't in the forefront. Drag was a part of it, but drag wasn't the headliner of it. And I kind of feel like we're going into a new era where everyone's being able to shine, and that it isn't just, you know, pageant drag isn't the focal point anymore.
I told you everything, that's no lie. I told you went to a slave, and now you know why. Your eyes are filled with confidence. You're no longer on both sides of the fence. You bend over with ease, and you're so content. You look up like an eager fiend. My body's perfect like a stacked machine. My footwear is strong and soon will be clean. You ask me, sir, can I use my tongue? You even beg.
Well, coming to the industry, it's competitive. Everybody is hungry for the same thing. There's often a lot of different people who are there to try to get the same opportunities as you. And depending on where you're starting, like, people don't always see you. They don't always take the time to appreciate your work or actually share you so that you can help you get more sight and visual. Sometimes they rather just watch you and because they're afraid that you'll be bigger than them, or that means that they get cheated of an opportunity because now you're around, and it becomes a lot of that. It becomes a lot of clicks, to say the least. Like, people, they don't want to work with you if you just started, or if they don't see your potential, where you can go. Like, saying that you want a model is not enough. You need to be doing all these things before they would want to consider you a model. And it makes it hard for people who are just starting up because they're not really given the chance all the time. If they don't look a certain way or act a certain way or interact with, have the most followers, or wear these specific clothes, like, the industry is also very judgmental in the sense in what they want to see and what gets the most views or whatnot. And rather than just accepting all forms of modeling and different types of models and accepting it and giving everybody a fair chance to get seen and stuff like that, they'd rather just stick to just one type and one specific type of model or type of photography or something of that nature. They want to change you from being you into something completely different. And you have to be willing to deal with that. You have to be willing to say, like, nah, that's not what I want to do, and I want to do me, and be authentic about that and stick to it. Not let people stray you from where you know you want to be as a creative or a model or a singer or dancer or whatever. Not all the times we're looked at as worth our work. What they would probably pay for somebody else that doesn't look like me to do the same thing isn't always the same amount. They try to make you seem like you are worth less. And so it becomes, now you are either doing one of the two things. You're lowering your prices to get the opportunity, or you're just not getting very many opportunities or no opportunities at all. And in the capital region, you even have people who will go out their way to stop you from being able to get opportunities, doing very sneaking things to kind of stunt your ability to grow in a local manner. And then there's also people who don't do proper business, so they don't keep their end of the bargain and things like that. And then you have people who are cliquey and they only want to include certain people, and if you don't look like this, or you're not like us, then we don't want you around, and then we definitely don't want you to do better than us. And we're definitely going to make sure that you're not seen like kind of doing things to stunt your growth, rather than empowering and uplifting each other as creatives and washing, you know, pretty much one person helping another person helping another, so that everybody can get to the top. It's like very much that, what is it, crabs in the barrel type of mentality out here. It's like they don't feel like there's enough opportunities to go around, and so they gotta do whatever they can to make you seem like you're not good enough to get those opportunities.
I'm about to go and make a mess of things. I've got a mouth full of blood from all the times I chose not to speak. But honestly, it's like every time I bit my tongue, I see not everyone's consistent with their energy. It's like everyone thought it was fun to run with scissors. It's all fun and games until somebody needs some stitches. No bad wishes or burning bridges, I just know what's best for me. No bad blood, just peace and love, and I like to keep that energy. So keep that energy, so keep that energy, so keep that energy, so keep that energy. The hard truth about life is, you really gotta learn how to accept shit. And when I say that, I mean that. You really gotta learn how to accept shit. So if it's love, then it's love. And if it ain't, then what's up? I walk around with a hammer in my bag, bitch, what's up? It's like everyone thought it was fun to run with scissors. It's all fun and games until somebody needs some stitches. No bad wishes or burning bridges, I just know what's best for me. No bad blood, just peace and love, and I like to keep that energy. So keep that energy, so keep that energy, so keep that energy, so keep that energy. This is the part where I tear you apart. Just kidding. Listen, look, you can eat, but not with me. I let you keep your teeth, but not your seat. Move your feet back a 50 feet, cause I seen you online, then I seen you in the streets, and I'm tickled pink.